Hi viewers, today's video is going to be a bit different. This is all about Swiss dive watches, Swiss made automatic dive watches, and this one is going to be a mega comparison video with 12 different watches, all under $2,000. Now some are well-known brands and others not so, but this is just to give people an idea of what you can get for your money and what are the best ones. Now this is just hopefully a helpful video to show people what is out there, and if you're thinking of getting a Swiss diver watch and you're not sure which one to get, then these are my views. Obviously many people will probably disagree with my views on these watches and which ones are the best, but I do have some experience with these. These are all my own watches and it's just a bit of fun. Now, I wouldn't be able to include all the watches that's within that category of under $2,000 for a Swiss-made watch. It would just be not feasible. So there will be some watches that aren't included in this because it's just not possible to include everything. So there are some exceptions, and they all are very good watches, such as Squale, Hamilton, Doxa. You know, these are other Swiss made divers under $2,000, which are all very good as well, but just can't include them all. But these are the ones I own and these are the ones that I recommend. So let's get started. Now I'm going to start them off in order of highest value, going down to the lowest value watch. So the first one we'll be looking at is the HEUER AQUARACER, followed by the ETERNA KONTIKI vintage diver, the 1973, which is fantastic. The Ball NECC diver watch, then the Edok Skydiver Neptunian, followed by the Orish Aquis, the Longines HYDROCONQUEST, the Christopher Ward Trident Pro, the Mido Ocean Star Certina Action Diver, the Tiso Sea Star, the Glycine Combat Sub, and finally the last watch we'll be looking at is the Steinart Ocean One. So before we get started, let me just go over the various categories that I have assigned for these watches to help decide which different assets they have, and we will give marks out of 10 for each feature and benefit. So the first thing we'll look at on each watch is the overall looks, because that's the first thing we see. That makes sense. We'll judge the actual initial appeal of the appearance of the watch. Then we'll talk about the build quality and give marks out of 10 for that. Then the next category will be all about the features. Then the actual feel of the watch in your hands, how tactile is it, and the actual textures of the watch. Then we'll look at status, which for a lot of people is important, and then we will look at the overall value of the watch. And lastly, we'll look at the X factor of the watch and give it marks out of 10 for that. Basically, something a bit wow or unique about the watch. So those are the categories, and we'll get started with the HEUER AQUARACER. So here it is. This is the most expensive watch in the collection. This is the 43mm version with the brushed stainless steel bezel. And you've got the Cyclops there. So the overall looks I'm going to give this watch is 8 out of 10. It's a stunning looking watch, beautiful blue dial, lovely textures, and I think 8 is a fair score for that watch. Then the second one is the ETERNA KONTIKI. Now I personally think this is a stunning looking watch, and I have given this 9 out of 10. The next one looking at is the Ball NECC Diver. Very smart watch, but the black bezel in my opinion lets it down, so I've given this 7 out of 10. Just to let you know, these are going to be fairly brief comments on the watches. We're just looking at the actual points to add up and give you an overall winner. If you want to see more detailed information on the watches, nearly all of these have been reviewed on my channel. So the next one we were looking at is the Edok Skydiver Neptunian. A very unique watch. which I think looks fantastic. And that is a score of 9 out of 10 for looks for that one. And then we have the Orish Aquis. Beautiful green dial, ceramic green bezel. 9 out of 10 for that one on looks. Next we have the Longines HYDROCONQUEST, the 41mm. Beautiful watch. Lovely grey dial, ceramic bezel again, giving this one 10 out of 10 on looks. Next down the line is the Christopher Ward Trident Pro. In my opinion, another beautiful watch. I have also given this one 10 out of 10. Then we have the Mido Ocean Star. Lovely blue dial, but in my opinion slightly bland, so for looks I have given this one 7 out of 10. Next is the Certina Action Diver, the DS Action Diver. Really nice chunky looking watch, beautiful blue dial. This one gets 8 out of 10 from me for looks. Then we have the Tiso Sea Star. This watch is pretty cool, but in my opinion looks is not its best asset. I'm not too keen on the looks, and I've given this one 5 out of 10. Then we have the fantastic Glycine Combat Sub. Very nicely proportioned watch. This is obviously the red bezel one, and this one I've given 8 out of 10 for the looks. And lastly we have the Steinart Ocean One. Okay, it is a homage to Rolex, but it does not detract from the looks. This is a beautiful watch in my opinion. Wonderful green ceramic bezel. It's so well executed, so I have given this one also 10 out of 10 for looks. So the next thing we're looking at is the build quality for each watch. Go back to the tag. Build quality on this is exceptional. So we've got a great bracelet, wonderful bezel, very well made. Build quality for this one I have given 9 out of 10. Then the KONTIKI, very nice. This is not the original strap. The original mesh strap is very nice looking, but extremely difficult to put on. Now I do like this watch. Bezel is great, but for a watch of this price, which is retails around about $1,500, the bezel just feels a little bit tinny, and for that reason I've marked it down a bit on build quality and given it 7 out of 10. Then we have the Ball Diver. All ball watches that I've ever handled, the build quality is exceptional, and this one is also exceptional, and I've given this 9 out of 10. Nice hefty watch. Edok Skydiver, again very well built, nice bracelet, nice very well made clasp, helium valve. That one gets 8 out of 10. Next up, Orish Aquis. Now in my collection this is the only one that's not on a stainless steel bracelet, but this leather strap is fantastic. The clasp is wonderful, very well made. Great bezel action, perfect. This one gets 9 out of 10 build quality. The Longines, wonderful bracelet, great clasp, superb bezel, really well made case, got the crown guards, great screw down crown. This one also gets 9 out of 10 for build quality. Next up, the Christopher Ward Trident Pro. Build quality on this is absolutely exceptional. Great bracelet. Beautifully engineered case. That light catcher case that they've created. So many curves and different facets and brushed and polished combinations. Wonderful bezel action, so smooth and silky. Perfect alignment. Faultless build quality, so this one gets 10 out of 10. Next up, Mido. Fairly average build quality. Decent bezel. But nothing special. This one gets 7 out of 10. The Certina Action Diver. Decent. Nice bracelet. Good crown guards. Very solid bezel action. 8 out of 10 for build quality on that. The Tiso, a very rugged watch. Nice bezel, but this one does not line up. I do like the raised markers on the bezel though. Good bracelet. This one gets 8 out of 10 build quality. The Glycine Combat Sub, bit like the Mido, quite average. Average bracelet, average clasp. Nice bezel, but the 60 click action is a bit agricultural, shall we say. Decent, but nothing special. 7 out of 10 for that. And then we have the Steinart. Really well engineered. Lovely Jubilee bracelet. Good bezel action. A bit tight, but very assured and lines up perfectly. Beautiful polishing. Build quality on this, I've given 9 out of 10. So now we're going to quickly have a look at the features and rate each watch on their features, and that will be mainly to do with the dive capabilities, how deep you can go, and the depth rating on the water resistance, that kind of thing. So with that, let's go with the first one, which is the TAG HEUER AQUARACER, and this has a water resistance of 300 meters, which is pretty good. Screw down crown. The lume on the tag is fantastic, super bright with a combination of green and blue. Excellent lume. The diver's extension on the bracelet. So, good features. That one, for the features, we're going to give that 8 out of 10. Next up, the ETERNA KONTIKI. Nothing special, just a 200 meter water resistance, which is fine, but not out of the ordinary. And the lume on the ETERNA KONTIKI is a bit disappointing actually. It's not very bright at all, which is a shame. No extra features, doesn't have crown guards. So this one, we're going to give that 6 out of 10 on the features. The ball, well, that has a water resistance of 300 meters, which is good. Now, being a ball watch, it's got tritium tubes, so the brightness of those markers is excellent in the dark. Beautiful colours. So, good points for that one. But nothing else really to write home about. Bracelet is decent, well made. Does have a dive extension as well, but the bezel could be improved. It's a rugged watch. Overall, not bad. That's getting a 7 out of 10. Next up is the Edox. Now this one does have a very impressive water resistance of 1,000 meters. Great screw down crown with crown guards, ceramic bezel. Has a diver's extension as well. This works with it with these neat little clips here. Just press those and it slides out. The Edox has good lume, super luminova, glows very brightly, so well done for that. Good, we'll give that one 9 out of 10 on features. Next up, Orish Aquis. This has a water resistance of 300 meters, very good. Has a wonderful clasp, very interesting little quick extension mechanism here on the leather strap, which is unusual for a leather strap, so that's a nice feature. The lume on the Aquis is pretty decent, not bad at all. Again, if you want to see more information and actual nighttime pictures of the lume on any of these watches, please check out the individual reviews on my channel. Thanks. Ceramic bezel, very rugged, strong crown guards, screw down crown, but this is on the leather strap. They do come on the bracelet as well. So overall, this diver is packed with good features. That gets 8 out of 10. Next up, the Longines. This also has 300 meters water resistance. Great bracelet. Got a diver's extension as well, but it's just stamped metal, which lets it down a little bit. The lume on the Longines is very bright, a lovely blue colour, glows for a long time. Good points for that. Very good crown guards, ceramic bezel. For the features, this one I'm giving it 8 out of 10. Next up, the Crucible Trident Pro. After the Edox, this has the next most impressive water resistance of 600 meters. Also has a wonderful bracelet. It also has an ingenious mechanism for extending the bracelet. Just click that down and slide. Excellent. Ceramic bezel, crown guard, screw down crown. The lume on the Crucible Trident Pro is outstanding. Super Luminova X1, very bright, long lasting, excellent. For the features on this one, giving it 9 out of 10. Next up, the Mido. This one just has an average 200 meters water resistance. Bracelet's okay. Does have a diver's extension as well, but the crown guards are rather annoying because they're fairly shallow and the crown is quite hard to grip. The lume on the Mido is not bad, nothing special, but does glow fairly brightly. And being only 200 meters, aluminium bezel, so just an average score for this one, 6 out of 10 for the features. The Certina, this one too is 200 meters water resistance. The lume on this Certina is very good. Nice, long-lasting, bright glow. The bezel, it's not ceramic, it's not aluminium, it has this resin which is very attractive but can fade over time. So lose marks for that. But good crown guards, decent bracelet. Got a diver's extension as well, but stamped metal. So this one gets 7 out of 10. The Tiso Sea Star. This has a decent 300 meters water resistance. The lume on the Tiso is okay, bit average, nothing special, but does the job. It also has a helium escape valve, screw down crown with crown guards, decent bezel, good bracelet, diver's extension but stamped metal. But because of that escape valve, it does get 8 out of 10 for that features. Next up, the Glycine Combat Sub. Just 200-meter water resistance. Pretty standard bracelet. There's no diver's extension. The lume on the Glycine, it's fairly bright at first but doesn't last long, so it's not great. No other features, nothing special. That gets just 6 out of 10. And lastly, the Steinhardt. That one is 300-meter water resistance. There's a great bracelet with a fold-over clasp. Screw-down crown, crown guard, ceramic bezel. The lume on the Steinhardt is very good. Nice, bright, long-lasting glow. Excellent. Very comfortable bracelet. Good bezel action. That one gets 9 out of 10 for features. Right, I'm going to speed things up a little bit now. We've gone over the main features, but this video is already becoming very long, so let's try and get this done a bit more quickly. We're looking at the next category, which is feel. The overall feel of the watch. How tactile is it? Well, the tag HEUER, that has a great feel. Lovely bezel, nice bracelet, very tactile. Love the case. It all feels so nice in the hands. And for that reason, it gets 10 out of 10. It feels perfect in the hands. Next up, the ETERNA. Nice solid feeling watch. Great casework. Bezel feels nice. That one, 8 out of 10 for feel. Next up, the ball. Lovely bracelet, good case. Got a nice weight to it. That one gets 8 out of 10 for feel. Next up, the Edok Skydiver. Good weight to it, but the bracelet is very thin. So that one gets 7 out of 10. Then the Orish Aquis. Does feel lovely. That one gets 8 out of 10. Next up, Longines. Really nice curves. Bracelet feels lovely, very silky. Good size, 8 out of 10 for that one too. And the Triton Pro. Really very tactile watch. The different shapes on the case and a very nice bracelet. Lovely case back. It all feels wonderful. So this one gets a 9 out of 10. Next up, the Mido Ocean Star. Feels okay. Bracelet's a bit thin. Doesn't feel anything special. 7 out of 10 for that. Then the DS Action Diver, Certina. Does feel good. Nice weight to it. Very rugged. 8 out of 10 for that. The Tiso. Again, a rugged feeling watch. I like the ridges on the side of the case. Good bracelet. That one gets 8 out of 10. The Glycine Combat Sub. The very slim case feels good in the hands. Nicely polished. Good bezel. Bracelet is average. That one gets 8 out of 10. And then lastly, the Steinhardt. Feels wonderful. Nice case back. Coin edge bezel feels great. Bracelet is very comfortable. And it just feels like a very expensive watch. So this one gets 9 out of 10. The next category we're looking at is the overall status of the watch. Do you feel good wearing it? Does it feel like a watch you want to show off? Sometimes we feel like that. We want to go somewhere, an important function. Maybe we want to show off that we've got a very nice looking watch. And that, I'm afraid, will come into brand name as well. There's a lot of people out there where brands are important. So with all those things factored in, here are the scores. The tag, obviously, very well known brand. Is a mark of quality, so we give that one a 9 out of 10. The ETERNA KONTIKI, very interesting watch, not very well known. Not many people appreciate it, so we give that one a 6 out of 10. The same with the ball, 6 out of 10 for that, because people don't appreciate how good ball watches are. So it's a bit wasted on the general public. I know these are sort of frivolous things, but they are important to some people. So next is the Edok Skydiver. Well, Edox was even less appreciated than the ball and the ETERNA, so I'm afraid that one gets a 5 out of 10 for overall status. The Orish Aquis, 7 out of 10. The Longines, that gets 9 out of 10. The Crucible Trident Pro, well, Christopher Ward only really appreciated among true watch fans, so that one gets 7 out of 10. The Mido Ocean Star, 5 out of 10 for that. The Certina Action Diver, 7 out of 10. The same with the Tiso Sea Star, 7 out of 10. The Glycine Combat Sub, 5 out of 10. And the Steinhart Ocean One gets 6 out of 10 for a status. So that's the materialistic category over and done with. Let's have a look at the overall value of the watches, and this is the next category. The tag gets 7 out of 10 for overall value. It is the most expensive watch here, so we knock a few points down for that, but it is worth it. It's a very good watch, but because of the high cost, we give that 7 out of 10. The ETERNA KONTIKI, another marvellous watch, but it is expensive, and that gets 7 out of 10. The ball NECC, that one is so well built. Ball are all well built, and that is a very good watch. So value for money on that one, 8 out of 10. The Edok Skydiver, well, that retails around about $1,200 to $1,400. So it's quite expensive, so that one gets 7 out of 10. Same with Orish Aquis, quite expensive, at around about $1,200, 7 out of 10 for that. The Longines HYDROCONQUEST, and it's such a good quality watch, and it is a pretty good retail price of around about $900 to $1,000, that gets 9 out of 10. Then the Crucible Trident Pro, probably the best value watch here, 10 out of 10 for that, because it costs around about £800, $1,000, and for that money you get an exceptional watch. So 10 out of 10 for that. Then the Mido Ocean Star, value for money, it's around about $700–800, 8 out of 10 for that. It's a decent watch for the money. Then the Certina, again 8 out of 10 value for that one. Tiso Sea Star, 8 again. And then the Glycine Combat Sub, well, value for money on these watches is exceptional, 9 out of 10 for that. You can get these for around about $300–350 for a Swiss-made automatic diver's watch. It's hard to beat. And then the Steinart Ocean One, again, exceptional value. It's around about $300 to $400, 10 out of 10 value for that. So that brings us down to the last category, and that is overall X factor. How special is the watch? How unique is it? How different is it? Conversation piece, all those kind of things. So with that in mind, we start with the tag, and well, where the status is very good, then you lack a little bit in the X factor, because it's not a particularly unusual watch. Everyone knows about it. The X factor isn't quite there, so give that 7 out of 10. The ETERNA KONTIKI, on the other hand, is a very unique watch, lovely vintage diver style, with a great history, with the KONTIKI expedition history behind it. That one gets 8 out of 10 for X factor. The ball NECC diver watch, very interesting association with the NECC, for more details, look at the video I've done on that one. That one, X Factor, 9 out of 10. The Edok Skydiver, the Neptunian, very interesting watch. Very unusual, not many around. 10 out of 10 X Factor on that one. Then the Orish Aquis. This one, especially with the green dial, is quite unique. Beautiful casework. 8 out of 10 for that. The Longines HYDROCONQUEST. Again, beautiful dial. Lovely dark grey. And then this grey ceramic bezel. Beautiful case back. X Factor, 8 out of 10 on that one. The Crucible Trident Pro. So beautifully designed. Great history behind Christopher Ward. Quite a new brand, obviously. X Factor on that one is 9 out of 10. The Mido Ocean Star. Very interesting case back. Not so well known brand, but a great history. Quite a unique watch, so that gets 8 out of 10. The Certina, a bit more mainstream. 7 out of 10 X Factor on that one. As with the Tiso Sea Star, 7 out of 10. And then the Glycine Combat Sub, 8 out of 10 for that because of the beautifully slim design. And then lastly the Steinhart X Factor, marking it down on this one because of the similarities to Rolex. It is a homage watch, so not much of an X Factor with that design. 7 out of 10 for that. So that is the end of the comparison reviews on all these different categories for these watches. So I'll just give you the scores in order of starting with the tag, and obviously these are marks out of 70 because there are 7 categories. So the tag gets 58 out of 70, the ETERNA KONTIKI 51, the ball gets 54, the Edox 55 points, the Orish Aquis 56 points, the Longines 61 out of 70, the Crucible Trident Pro 64 out of 70, the Mido 48, the Certina 53, the Tiso 51, the Glycine Combat Sub 51, and then lastly the Steinhart comes in at 59 out of 70. So, unless you've worked out already, the winner of this comparison review of these 12 Swiss automatic dive watches is the Christopher Ward Trident Pro. With all things considered, the price of the watch, the build quality, the looks, the design and the features, I think that's a good winner. A beautiful watch, very, very hard to fault. And then in second place is the Longines, which is a deserved second place. And in third place, the Steinhart, a really surprising watch for me. This one is fantastic. And the fourth place is the tag AQUARACER. Great watch, but quite expensive and fairly common watch. But still very good. Good position, fourth place. I will now show you the full table for all the points in every category. I just want to say, if this wasn't just restricted to Swiss watches, this watch by Seiko would be in the top 3. I'm not going to say any more because it's not a review on Japanese watches. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this very long video. Didn't mean it to be that long. And I'll leave you with this final shot of the deserved winner, the Christopher Ward Trident Pro. Thank you. See you next time.